Hello and welcome to the pre-match build-up of Everton against West Ham United in the Carabao Cup, one game away from the quarter-final. And we're going to dive straight into it. The lineups are out, so let's get into it. Are you ready for it, Gonzo? Are you excited?
Yes, please. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Here we go. So Randolph starts in goal. It's a back four as per Cup. Ben Johnson right back, Balbuena and Declan Rice centre back, with Aaron Creswell left back. The midfield pairing of Robert Snodgrass and Mark Noble, with Lanzini, Anderson and Yarmolenko playing behind Sebastian Allaire. So let's start with the surprise one there, Gonzo. Declan Rice centre back.
Yeah, I mean, what that says to me, I didn't know that was going to happen. That says to me that actually Moyes or Irvine, whoever, is taking it seriously. If they wasn't going to take it too seriously, you'd have seen Elise at centre half. You probably would have seen Harrison Ashby there. You probably would have seen Ben Johnson at left back. I think what he's doing as well is, I wouldn't have wanted to see Declan Rice in midfield for this one, because I thought he was overused by England. Let's say played 180 minutes for England, and I feel like he's slowly getting back to form. I don't want him to be knackered, but of course you just don't do as much running at centre half as you do in central midfield. So I understand that. And I also think the same applies to Aaron Creswell. I thought when he's playing left centre half, he's not doing as much running, getting up and down the flanks. Although he did work quite hard. That being said, in the game at the weekend, so I can understand that. And it just, I think the team is there to try and win the game.
I have to agree with you. I think this is a really, really strong lineup. Can't really knock the lineup whatsoever. There's a slight concern, I'll get on to that, but seeing Declan Rice centre backs interesting. I think the slight problem is a good problem to have is if he's 10 out of 10 tonight at centre back, gives you a little bit of an issue. You're away play Leicester with Jamie Vardy on Sunday, you're thinking, hang about, Declan Rice has been man and match in there, but it's not a bad thing to have. Like you said, I was actually expecting Ashby right back, Ben Johnson left back, and Elise in the middle, and I thought, that's quite, given that we know against Fleetwood, Everton played Calvin Lewin and Richarlison up front, so they're taking the cup seriously, and I think this is a sign of intent by David Moyes, which is really interesting. I mean, the front four sort of picked itself, really, didn't it?
Well, yeah, absolutely, and I think they're really good. And actually, even though it's just been in the cup, you can't normally build momentum and team cohesion in a cup, because normally it's so fragmented. But bearing in mind, it seems to be every week at the moment, where we seem to be building like a team identity and a team cohesion in two separate teams, and they're just combining really well as a front four, if you like. If you want to call them the front four, with Lanzini, Yarmolenko, Anderson, and Haller. And that I think that's really good to keep them together as a unit. And I guess long may it continue, in terms of, while the frequency of the fixtures carries on, maybe they don't feel too disgruntled that they're not playing games. This is not a Premier League game, but it's still a big game. It's against Everton. And I spoke about Everton in the breakfast in the patron show this morning, and they seem to, I thought some of their players might be slightly disillusioned. I'm talking about Bernard, I'm talking about Sigurdsson, I'm talking about Iwobi. Big money players, £40 million Iwobi, £50 million Sigurdsson. And I think it's all about how you can integrate them and make them feel a part of things in our particular team. And I like to feel that we've done that, Geo, to be honest with you. I really like this team.
My concern's centre midfield, to be honest with you. Mark Noble and Robert Snodgrass concerns me. There's not much, I would say, pace, but they're both in their mid-30s now. They're both getting on a little bit, and I felt like at times, I thought Snodgrass has done well, but it was been against League One opposition. This is obviously a massive step up in quality here. I don't know the Everton team, but they've been playing like a 4-3-3, and if Ancelotti continues to play 4-3-3, that means Lanzini's going to have to drop back deep, otherwise we're going to be outnumbered in there, and it's not an ideal pairing. I would fancy Rice and Souček to almost make up for an extra man in a way, but definitely not Snodgrass and Noble. So that's the concern area for myself. Now the bench continues with the theme, to be honest with you. Nathan Trott is the sub-goalkeeper, but we also have Ogbonna, Masuaku, Ashby, Souček, Bowen and Fornals. So no striker on the bench still, Gonzo, but a relatively strong one.
Yeah, I mean, I like this. It's one thing for Moyes to say, I'm taking the cup seriously. well, he's never won one. So let's say that. So firstly, that's a reason not to particularly believe him when he says it. Also, when he really puts out the B team, which is what we've had, we know what his A team is because he's played his A team in the league. This he considers his B team. So when he puts that out, you think, oh, really, mate, do you honestly want to win the cup? And I think actually he does. I think he's just trying to be clever with his squad rotation. The bench is good. I mean, I guess it shows our lack of depth in terms of striker. But then again, you don't know when remember he brought Hugo in the January window during his first stint, and you kept on saying, why is Hugo on the bench? He's clearly not going to use him. In many respects, if he's never going to use Silva, I would actually rather him not be on the bench. If that is just not an option at all, then why bother? I guess the flip side of that is if there's an injury to Haller, you have no striker. But I guess he'll just put Bowen on there, or he'll put Yarmolenko up or something like that. And if that's what he was going to do anyway, if actually even in the event of an injury he would have done that, then actually it's probably pointless Silva being there. What he's given himself is options to change the game from the bench. I think this is very, very interesting.
I would have liked to have seen a striker on there, that young lad that we got from Man United, Odubek, or just... It's a cup game, isn't it? Though if you're 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go, you're just as well taking off your centre back and throwing the striker on, because you're going out anyway, aren't you? You might as well throw the kitchen sink at it. This isn't a league game where the difference between a 1-0 defeat and a 3-0 defeat matters anything. It doesn't matter. You're out, you're out. There's no goal difference. So I would have liked to have seen us have the option. I do worry that if we were to go behind for whatever reason, you can be looking, thinking, oh, what do we do here? Like you say, you could bring Bowen on and put him up front with Haller, but that's the only option, really, isn't it? Or you take Fornals on out wide and then put your Yarmolenko up, and it's a bit square pegs round holes. But it maybe Moyes is using this as an opportunity to have what he considers a strong bench, but also send a message to the board saying, I need a backup striker. The window shuts on Monday. This is it. I've got Antonio and Haller. I can't risk Antonio because he's too fragile and he's too important to the team. I'm not risking him. So you need to give me options here. The Everton 11, just as important. Strong. Jordan Pickford, back four of Kenny, Keane, Dean and Nkunku. And then they've got a midfield of Alan, Delph and Sigurdsson, with James Rodriguez, with Charlison and Calvin Lewin as their front three. Bar one or two, I would say that's their strongest 11.
Yeah, well, he's brought James Rodriguez in, and he's brought Alan and James in for this one, who didn't feature against Fleetwood. I think.
They had Iwobi and Bernard in there instead.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, the back four is the same. That suggests he's taking it seriously as well. I would hope. I think there's a little glimmer here. I think there's a couple of glimmers actually. I think firstly, Everton are riding high. They're up at the top of the league, and they'd be very silly if they didn't have one eye on their upcoming fixture against Brighton at the weekend. I also think that it's a very good team. It's a very good team that they've got out there, and some highly impressive players. That being said, I think there's mitigation on some of their wins. I think the win against Tottenham wasn't as comprehensive as some might have thought. I thought what happened against West Brom was unfortunate for West Brom. I thought West Brom really started brightly. I thought they were hampered by the fact that they had a player sent off and then their manager sent off as well. And I also thought there was some controversy in the Crystal Palace win as well. So I think if you look at it as well, they might not be, and I'm clinging to some hope here, the swashbuckling Real Madrid team of the 1950s, so to speak. So I think there's some hope to be had from this year.
Yeah, Ancelotti likes cups though. Carlo Ancelotti does like winning trophies, and I think that's one thing that I would have liked to have seen more of. But Moyes is throwing down that tonight, to be fair to him. I give him credit. He has put out a very strong team, but it's no surprise to see Everton going this strong. Their bench is Lossell, Mina, Coleman, Decore, Davies, Bernard and Iwobi. A very, very strong bench from Everton as well. My worry is the three in midfield, Gonzo. That's my concern tonight, that they've got Alan in there, who I think he's been fantastic since coming in. I thought he was man of the match against Spurs. I didn't see the Crystal Palace game. I thought he was good against West Brom, as good as can be, because West Brom tend to go down the side, so there's only so much he can do. I do think Lanzini's got his work cut out tonight, trying to get the better of him, because Lanzini's looked good in the Cup so far, but he's been up against Pratley and whoever else it was, another League One defender. But tonight he's coming up against someone that's got Champions League experience under his belt. It's a slightly different kettle of fish. It does concern me that they've got quite a strong three. I'm pleased, I guess, to see Sigurdsson instead of Decore. I would have liked to have seen Decore trying to run past, or I would have liked to have seen Noble and Snodgrass trying to keep up with Decore, should I say. But someone's got to watch Rodriguez cutting in from the right hand side as well. Who that is, I don't know, but we're going to have to watch for that. And it should be a good game, actually. If I was a neutral, I'd be a bit annoyed that this isn't on the television, actually. I'd be thinking of, Man U Brighton. This is a tasty affair with two teams taking it seriously. Can I get your... We'll start to wrap this up. The boys going live their watch along. And, well, to be fair, we've got 10 minutes actually gone. So I don't know if we can do a bet, actually, because...
Well, while you're doing that, it's not on the telly, as you say. If you do want to watch it, it's on Carabao Cup .live, and that's basically the English Football League Cup. And they're desperate to get some money in. It's a tenner to watch it, but this will be the third one that I've watched and that I've used. And actually, the streaming service is pretty damn good, actually. And I don't mind giving them the tenner at all, because I think they're absolutely skint.
Sorry, we're doing a bet. Okay, to interrupt, what are you fancying? For those that don't know, there's 400 of you watching live. Hello, welcome to Hamish Chat. If you haven't subscribed, please do drop a like on it. We're going to make up a bet right here. I'm on my bet 365. We're going to piece it together. There's already something in there. I'm not going to say what it is yet. We're going to piece together a bet. The winnings will usually be about 200 quid, and if it wins, we will give it to someone that's watching live. How to enter? Gonzo will come up with a phrase which you must put in the live chat. So the bet, what are you fancying, Gonzo?
I think Richarlison might score.
Okay, let's put that in.
Yeah, I think he might. That does worry me, actually. Their front three worry me. But I'll tell you what, our front three should worry them as well. So, I also think... I don't know. Look, it depends whether you want to go for goals, corners, or what. I think Haller's got a goal in him. You'd have to say he's in form, isn't he, Sebastian Haller?
Yeah, it was him. It was him or Yarmolenko I was wanting to put in. One of them. I think both teams will score tonight. I can see there'll be goals tonight. So Ali and Richarlison, I'm happy putting. I'm a big Richarlison fanboy. I don't mind admitting it. I think he's one of my favourite players. I'll tell you what, though, Lucas Dean, centre back for Everton, Ali's going to be licking his lips at that. Get away from Michael Keane and get him up against Lucas Dean. And to be fair, I think Yarmolenko, I still say this, I think Yarmolenko's very underrated. That heading, I do think Yarmolenko's underrated in the air. And Lucas, he's quite small, Dean. I'm surprised they're playing him centre back. I know especially when they got Mina on the bench. But I think Ali would, to be precise, I think he's going to score a header again. He made that one against Wolves look easy. He made it look a piece of piss. So, to be fair, this could be our bet. Is there anyone you fancy be booked? Because I picked one player, so it's just to see if you pick the same one. Well,
no, go on. I've done a couple of goal scorers. Let's give him the best chance of winning. Who do you fancy?
Ben Johnson. He's up against Richarlison.
Like it. That's a good.
Richarlison's one of the most foul players in the Premier League. He does a lot of dribbling and stuff, and Ben Johnson's erratic. It's 33-1 for Ben Johnson to be booked, Richarlison and Ali to score. We're sticking a fiver on that. 170 quid. What's the phrase?
The phrase is hot and spicy pizza.
Hot and spicy pizza. Okay, so in the live chat, put in hot and spicy pizza and you've entered, and if Ali and Richarlison score a goal and Ben Johnson gets booked, we will give one of you £170 cash. Don't know when, once it's in my bank account and stuff.
Next year.
In instalments, we'll give it to you 17 instalments of a tenner.
There you go, lovely. Lucky you lot. You can buy a pizza every week then.
Well, this is where it gets interesting. We never did the preview last night. We brought out our cup team, but fortunately our cup team's as good as West Ham's one, so we had our Yarmolenko and Ali doing the preview. So can I get your final thoughts, but not your score prediction as yet?
There's another dynamic here, which is David Moyes. I don't know whether it's common knowledge or it's not. David Moyes was really close to getting an Everton job. His agent had actually had meetings with is his name Mashiri? I don't know. Whatever. The Everton geezer, and he was close. And then Ancelotti became available, so Moyes didn't get the gig, and Moyes ended up at West Ham. Now, if that's not motivation for somebody, come on, we're all human beings, aren't we? It's his former club. He's going to want to prove a point here. He's going to tactically outdo Carlo Ancelotti, and if he can do it from the comfort of his own, probably reclining sofa, I would imagine, then it's going to be very much one up for him there.
Did you just say Moyes is going to tactically outdo Carlo Ancelotti?
Well, no, I said he will want to tactically outdo him. It will mean a lot to him because he lost out on the job. I think. Look, there's a lot to fear in that Everton side, but we, as I always say, let us give the opposition something to think about. Let's let Anderson and Yarmolenko put their players on the back foot. Let's see if Lanzini can carry this form forward. If Lanzini does well in this game against Allen, then he really does stand a chance of actually he won't get into the team because they played so well against Wolves, but he'll stake his claim, if you know what I mean. This is what it's got to all be about. I think it's a big night for Declan Rice. I've got to say, he's not played too many times recently in that position. He's coming up against the former striker in the league in many respects in Calvert-Lewin. Richarlison's going to be, coming in off the side and joining him. So Ben Johnson, as you alluded to earlier, has got an interesting night ahead of him. But you know what? We can make them worry about us as well.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing actually beating Wolves because arguably no one's getting into that team bar for the injured Ryan Frederick. So Ben Johnson's really got to stake his claim tonight. If he's had a poor first half, I wouldn't be surprised to see Ashby come on at half time and Irvine say to him, look, he's fucked it. That was his trial tonight and he's messed it right up. You've got 45 minutes to essentially overtake Ben Johnson in the pecking order because one of these are starting on Sunday. At the minute, it's still Ben Johnson, despite him being crap. So if you go out there and do well, I wouldn't be surprised to see that change happen if Ben Johnson's struggling. I think Ben Johnson is in for a difficult night tonight against Richarlison. Our midfield pairing do worry me. However, seeing Lucas Dean centre-back gives me a little bit of a twinkle in my eye, if you like. I do think there's a glaring weakness there. I expect a good game. I'm expecting goals. I'm quite looking forward to watching this, actually. I am really, really looking forward to it. I think it's end-to-end. Both teams are clearly taking it seriously, so I don't see why there wouldn't be a high enough tempo and stuff. But those players like Lanzini and Anderson are now have to put in a really good performance just to have a sniff of getting on Sunday because of the good performances by Bowen and Fernandes. It's different because their motivation before, after the Newcastle game and after the Arsenal game, was you're trying to get into a team that's just got beat. You can get into that team. Now that's probably taken away from them. It'd be interesting to see how they step up because they're now coming up against much inferior opposition than they have in the previous two rounds. They're probably not going to get into the team on Sunday unless they do something remarkable tonight, which is 10 out of 10, a goal and assist kind of thing. Even then, they still might not get in the team on Sunday. It's a completely different request from West Ham, if you like, to those players saying, what can you deliver tonight? And they've got to do it. Everton have probably got more first team players out onto the pitch than we do. Mark Noble's under pressure tonight because didn't make it into the starting 11 against Wolves. Probably won't make it into starting 11 now. Saying that, this is probably what he wants. I think he quite likes the whole rotation thing. This is what he believes. It concerns me the middle of the pitch, though, Gonzo. I do think when we come on the review, I've got a feeling we're going to say, oh, we've lost it there. But if we are outnumbered in midfield, it means we've got extra numbers somewhere else on the pitch. Because we've both got 11 players out there. So if it's 3v2 in the middle, we've got an extra man somewhere.
2 goalkeepers.
Unfortunately not. But we've got to find out where that is, where that extra man is. It's probably going to be Lanzini. So then we need to utilise him correctly. Whether he goes out to join Felipe Anderson or Yarmolenko at times and almost doubles up on the wings. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see Lanzini standing next to Yarmolenko at times saying, like, let's start a little triangle here and then I'll move over to the other side of the pitch for a little bit. Something. Get Allen out of position. He's very central, Allen. There was one thing that he is he doesn't move from the middle third of the park. So if you come down the flank, you put yourself up against the fullback. And with all that said and done, Gonzo, can I get your score prediction? And if you're going to predict a draw, the game goes to penalties.
I know what I'm doing. Don't say anything else. Listen, as for Alan, they don't call him Static Alan for nothing, my friend. He's not one for going onto the flanks. I'll tell you what, though. I reckon it's 5-3 to West Ham on penalties.
Oh, I'm glad you said on penalties there. I was thinking, can I get a 90-minute score prediction from you as well?
Yeah, 1-1. Don't put that in your bet.
Actually,
that'd be a good bet.
It will be. I'm going to go for the first time this season, Gonzo. I'm going to bring up my favourite one. A little bit of 2-2. I think it's going to go to pens as well, and I think I've got a funny feeling we're going to sneak it. I don't know why. I quite fancy Noble, Yarmolenko, Alier. I fancy them on penalty duty. I think we might have a classical cup tie for us tonight. I think we're both predicting West Ham to be in the quarter-final. Anyway, if you're not watching it, don't worry. Tom and Charlie are going live in 1 minute, and they're going to take you through the 90 minutes of action from Goodison Park. Hopefully, West Ham getting into the next round. Hot and spicy pizza in the live chat, 170 quid for someone, hopefully. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new around here. Myself and Gonzo will be live at full time with the review. Catch you in a bit.